Hey, here we go. So an overview of the hiring process that I share with clients. There's another version of this that I sell to the general public, but I want to just give you the basic information that you need to be able to produce a great ad. And that's exactly what it is. The major mistake that most people make with recruiting is they don't treat it like marketing. And number one, recruiting is marketing. Now, what's key in marketing is you need to know your target audience. You need to have an offer that is appealing, and you need to have content that actually gets their attention. So we don't think in terms when we're recruiting so often about what the client, which is the prospect, which is the applicant wants, the type of person we want to hire. We tend to think about what we need. Now, what we need is important. And, if you go in here, you can go under job design and ROI under this folder, and it'll walk you through some thoughts and questions. There's a worksheet in here that's really good. And it just helps you think about what you really want out of this position. Um, I wouldn't spend more than about 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes on it, if that. But it helps you understand what they're going to do, how you're going to pay for the role, and it'll teach you quite a bit about the type of person that you want to hire and give you some real conviction about what you're looking for. Uh, the job ad, or the job description rather. The job description, I would just write a very basic job description. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to post a job description, which is what most people do. 90% of the professionals and people who are producing job ads, they're like lemmings. They're just walking off the cliff doing the same stupid stuff that everybody else is doing and then complaining about the result. If you're not getting the candidates that you want, it's your ad. It's where you're advertising. It's what you're offering. It's not about them. It's about you. It's about us. It's up to us to write ad copy that gets their attention, generates interest, creates a desire for them to take action, and makes it easy to take action. So that's all on us. Don't believe anything else. I've got way too much experience doing this the right way to know how easy it can be. And here's the result. You do this the right way, you follow this process, and what takes other people hours and hours and hours scouring resumes and long interviews with candidates they don't like, all that goes away. And my experience is that you'll spend 25% to 30, maybe 35% of the amount of time that you would normally spend, maybe even less, if you'll follow this process. So that's the promise. I've seen it with dozens of companies. I've used it myself, and I know this stuff works. So again, don't camp out too long on the job description, and whatever you do, don't post it. That's not what attracts people. Remember, we're in the advertising business. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into job ad samples and just go to the ones that are zero here. If you're looking for an exec admin person, this is a good start. Now, all I'm going to do is go over the anatomy of this. So the first part of the job ad, you want to ask questions. That's what great advertising does, is it gets people's attention. So in this section here, what you're really thinking about is what are the common likes and dislikes of the type of person you want to hire. And when I say likes and dislikes, it's with their current role. So maybe they're underutilized. Maybe it's a big company and they don't see a future. Maybe they don't have job flexibility and they have to come into the office every day. So think about what you offer, the uniquenesses that you offer, and think about the challenges that people might have that would make them respond to the uniqueness of your company and this job that you're offering. And that's the type of do you, would you, are you, have you questions that you want to post here. And then something positive, if you answer these questions, if these sound like you may be a great fit. Say something positive about your company here. Who are you? Where are you? Where are you going? What's great? Ask the people who work for you. What do you like about working here? Don't write five sentence paragraph, but what's uniquely great? The fewer words, the better. And then we're going to talk just a little bit about the role and why this role is so doggone important. If it wasn't critical to your business, you wouldn't be hiring for them. But we don't talk about how it's critical and how it'll contribute to the overall well-being of the company. Then just a little bit, this is probably too much, quite frankly, on the skills and attributes, because all you're trying to do is get them interested and get them to take action and make it easy, right? Compensation and benefits. If you don't have great benefits, uh, uh, you should have great compensation, because you can't get around that, even if it's base plus incentive. But you should never not be proud of your compensation. It's just a losing game from day one. Will people work in a great environment for less money? They'll probably stay there, but that's not what attracts them. You got to have both, especially in the job market we're in now. So compensation and benefits, talk about what you do have. It could be flexibility. Don't just think in terms of health insurance. Some people are married to someone who has health insurance and they don't need it. So workplace, optional. I don't usually put that information in there. And here's how you experience our one-of-a-kind recruiting process and meet the CEO. I actually have another example I'll show you where I like to put this information up in the top. And then down here, we're not going to have people, I'm going to change this. Ops your company at gmail.com. So you're going to create a Gmail address. It's going to be some combination of your company name. If you already have an email address, you can't use it. Trust me on this, okay? And then you're going to, they're going to call a phone number, which let's change these numbers, XXX. Get a local Google phone number. I'll go over that with you in a second. Get a local Google phone number. You'll have a file that walks you through step-by-step how to do that. Using the Gmail address that you've just set up. So it's important that these two are tied. So you'll have a Google phone number, Google Voice, that is attached to a specific Gmail address. And it's going to make screening resumes a breeze, like nothing you've ever seen. And then you're going to ask them to call and answer 3 questions. You're going to have to put in a nice outgoing message that gets them excited about the role. And in that outgoing message, make sure you ask them to leave their name, their email address, and repeat it 2 or 3 times. Email your resume to me at here. Repeat that address 2 or 3 times, because you want to make sure that a good candidate doesn't fail to get in touch with you because the information was hard to hear or hard to understand. So this is just examples of questions that you might ask. What are 2 things you like about this role from what you've read? What in the past 5 years have you done that most demonstrates you could get great results? These are the questions they're going to answer on the voicemail. And then what would be your top 2 concerns about this role? This tells you how they think. So this is a great example of an ad. And it's the most important thing, is getting the ad right. Here's another one for another company that was hiring a project manager. They decided to go a slightly different. No, actually, they didn't. They did do the online group interview. Group interview. Oh my gosh, what's that? Yeah, you got to do the group interview. People play on a team. You'll learn more about them seeing them first interact in a group environment. Are they bossy? Are they considerate? Can they think on their feet? Are they coherent? Are they shy? Are they forward? You'll learn all these things in this first group interview, and candidates think it's a little. They think it's cool. They think it's different, and that's what we're doing here. Is we're differentiating ourselves. In fact, it doesn't say that in this ad, but you want to say something up here about, if this sounds like, if so, then being a field superintendent for us might be a perfect fit for you. And what's better is you'll get to experience our one-of-a-kind recruiting process. Well, you'll meet the owner right away. So put something like that in here. All right, so a couple of job ads, and there's a whole folder full that I've sent you. I would just think about using the most recent ones because they're more likely to follow the template that I'm currently using that's working the best. Okay, so I talked about Gmail setup. This is really easy. I've got a document in here It talks to you about how to set up Google Phone. It's super simple. Okay. It's so simple, I didn't even put it in writing. So pause that thought. I'll come back, and that's probably in the other document. So let me take a look at that real quick. What I did actually, I see what I did now, is here's a recording of how to set up your Gmail account and your Google Voice. So just listen to this recording. It's probably, I don't know, just a few minutes, and it'll help you get that part set up. All right, so Google Voice setup. Yeah, so I do have how to set it up, how to create your Google Voice message. And all you're doing here is you want to give, when they call this phone number, your Google Voice number, you're going to have an outgoing message that's very welcome. Hey, thank you so much. This is for responding. This is a phenomenal position with a great future ahead of it. Here are the 3 questions we want you to answer. Please be sure to leave your name, spell it out for me, your email, spell it out for me, and also email a copy of your resume and your answers to these questions if it's an admin position, and then leave, it's the yourcompanyops@gmail.com. And that'll make for a very smooth process. Let me show you why that is so phenomenal. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's kind of mind-blowing how much time saving is involved in this. So let's go to another Gmail account. Let me pause this real quick. Okay, so I've signed into my Gmail, and then here's one that I set up for another fella. What I want you to see here, there's a lot of emails that'll be in this inbox, but this was only used for recruiting. Here's what's really cool. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Let's go to the ones that are starred. So here's what you're looking for. In a normal interview process, you're going to get like 50 or 100 resumes. It's crazy. Nobody can handle that. This process will take 100, and only 10 people, on average, 10%, will follow instructions. So if you get 50 people interested, you'll have 5 responses. Here's how this works. You're looking for instances where someone, let me tag this, where someone called, so they followed instruction number 1. You have a new voicemail from, hi, it's first name. Imagine that. So when you tell them to use the first name, this is why. Immediately, without opening anything up, I know that she followed instructions. Now, did she follow the second instruction and send me a copy of her resume? Yes, she did. So right now, I'm going to star those 2 as somebody who followed directions. Here's another person who followed instructions. I have a voicemail from her. It's Anastasia. And then here's the resume. So you've just eliminated 90% of the bad applications, and you have people who follow instructions. Now, if you're dealing with frontline positions that might not be administrative or not supervisor positions, you may not ask them to send you a copy or answers to your questions. So what I did is I asked them to also, with the resume, type out their answers to their questions. And it's just one more thing to get them to follow. So for an executive admin, I do that because I want the high attention to detail. If it's a supervisor, I probably don't, because those guys don't like to type, or ladies. So this is magic. This is how it works. You're going to love this process. Follow it. It's a home run. You might have to pay a little bit. The ad, I didn't mention this before, the ad gets posted on Indeed. You might have to pay $5 a day, but just pay for Friday through Monday. Stop it. Friday through Monday. Stop it. Okay, so next part in the process, and that way, by doing it that way, you don't have to spend so much money. Okay, next part of the process is setting up the group interview. Yes, I did say group interview, and I mentioned why before. The candidates that you like, that we just saw, tell them congratulations. After reviewing a number of candidates for this role, we would like to talk with you further and learn a little bit more about you. As we mentioned in the ad, we have a different approach The next step would be a Zoom call. The first call is a group call. We invite other candidates. During that time, we'll cover a few items. At any point during the meeting, you don't feel like it's the right opportunity, you can jump off. We're making it easy for them. The idea of the group interview is a little bit different, but that's good. We start the conversation, tell a little bit about why. So I just send this email from the Gmail account that I just showed you, your new Gmail and voice account, and I'll send them to all the candidates. You can BCC if you want, or just copy and paste to each one. It's up to you. And then I look for who responded. If they respond, guess what they get? They get another star. And at that point, I'm probably printing off, because I like to print stuff, their resume, the answers to their question, and this invitation. Now, sometimes, actually most of the time, I'll actually read their responses to decide if I want to invite them. So I left out that detail, and I would do that. All right, so that's the invitation. Now, what's the group interview look like? Well, I've got a couple of outlines in here. You can just read the outlines, but it's real simple. You're basically going to tell them, spend 5 minutes talking about your company and what a great opportunity the company is, 5 minutes about the role, and then you're going to ask probably 3 questions. Now, you only want to have 3 to 4 people in a group interview. If you get more than that, set up a second group interview, okay? And I always do them at 6 o'clock. That means that everybody can get home and be in their own comfort for a group interview. Typically, it doesn't take more than 2 groups, and you're going to find your candidate. So, like I said, I put a couple of invitation options in here and a couple of group interview outlines here. Just mishmash the 2 together and do the one that you like. So now you've got the candidate's attention, you've got them, you know that they follow instructions, and you have them involved in a group interview. What could be better than that? And once you are ready for the group interview, I can help you with that and be involved in the group interview. Happy to do it. Or you can watch a recording. I don't think I put a recording in here. I might not have done that for privacy reasons. But this is the part where you can get me involved, and I can help you with that group interview. But the outline's super simple. You're going to ask 3 questions in each person in a round robin fashion. And then at the end, you're going to ask them to ask 1 question of you. And the whole group gets to hear that. Great process, dynamic process. And then after that, you'll do a candidate review. So create a candidate review sheet based on the qualities that are really important to you. I put the questions in here, and I do little things like who answered first? Did they stay on time? Did they answer all parts of the question? So this candidate review sheet, have these printed out in advance, and it just lets you take notes about the candidates sort of while they're talking. And this is a great process. You're going to love it. It's different. The candidates like it too. It sets you apart, and it makes you a better company. So these are the basics. If you need more info, you know who to reach out to. Take care. Bye.